Robin.
Hey, we got Don Trump. I said, is it Donald or Don? He goes, it's Don.
It's Don.
Donald Trump Jr., but he likes to be known as Don. Real nice guy. I never met him before. We should bring him down because Howie's still in with Howie.
Howie's in with Howie.
Howie's in with Howie.
Take
so
a while.
Why don't we bring Mr. Trump down? Trump Jr.
Does he like Donnie?
I don't know. We'll ask him.
Don?
Down to earth guy. Donald. Nice guy. He used to live in Jimmy's building.
Yeah. Oh, yeah?
He moved on to what? Some ridiculous penthouse somewhere.
I'm sure he's
It's got a little foreclosed house that's a little piece of shit.
He probably was living in that building to be a spy or something. So we'll bring him in, and then when Howie gets here, we'll just make it work. We'll just do
whatever happens.
We'll do them both.
Whatever happens. Hello, Mr. Trump.
What's happening, guys?
Yes.
I don't know if he likes Mr. Trump. Do you like Mr.
whatever.
Trump?
I prefer Don. I don't really care.
I hate when people call him Mr. Hughes. Ugh, shut up.
Hey, mister.
You don't like that, Mr. Cumia?
I don't care.
No.
I don't give a shit what anybody calls me. Just don't call me late for a prostitute.
Whoa.
I'm kidding.
Why? Why would you
Sure
do
you're
that?
kidding.
I don't know.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
It
kidding.
makes no sense.
Why would anyone call you for a prostitute to begin with?
I know. Well, Jimmy's the expert.
They don't beckon you in.
You'd know.
This is our introduction to
I know.
We want to get along with Don.
Don. Yes.
We used to have your father on the show.
I know.
And we kind of had a misunderstanding that we're hopefully going to work out someday. I don't even know what it was about anymore.
Actually, Donald gets into a lot of misunderstandings with people.
He's pretty good at that. Yeah.
we made page 6 with him, and then we went on the air and said that I forgot, but we were joking, and then he said he's not going to do our show anymore, and we got sad because we like your father. We have a lot of misunderstandings. This show, for some reason, we get a lot of misunderstandings. We're really nice guys.
I believe that. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah.
We're nice guys.
I'll stop trying to sell it.
Exactly. We're not nice guys.
Probably
We're
not.
nice guys.
I don't know.
Don used to live in Jimmy's building.
Yeah. We were a floor apart.
Did you ever talk?
Oh, yeah?
One time, yeah, briefly.
In the elevator?
You were. I think you came by. You were running for something in the building.
Okay.
I think you were going door to door, actually.
Yeah, board seat and stuff,
very brief.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like
very pleasant. Yeah.
Glad you like the building.
I love it. Yeah.
Why would you have a brief? What was going on in your apartment that you had a brief conversation that had to get rid of Don?
No, I wasn't. Yeah, he was like, "Who's in the back yelling hi?" I had a friend in there,
Yeah.
No. It was just he was just coming door. He wasn't staying for long.
Yeah.
Briefly popping in.
When they knock on my door, I don't want to deal with that person.
Yeah.
You're not going to vote? No, I'm not going to vote.
What
vote
is it,
for
like
what?
a little building friggin'
Yeah, they want to be on
community
the, what is it, the board or
board
something?
seat or something like
Board
that.
thing
Well,
like
that's the
that?
thing. In a good building, usually everyone's kind of indifferent, so you kind of they're like, leave me alone, and I get it. I'm the same way. But
Well, this old guy comes to my door. I'm like, you don't want to have a vote in what happens in this building? I'm like, no. I'm going to live here for a few years and move on.
One day, is it going to be a big wrecking ball slamming into my wall because I didn't vote?
Yeah, what do you do when you're on the board of any building? I never understood that.
you make up decisions on budgeting, what's going to happen in the building, what's going on with staffing, who's doing what. So it's pretty good in terms of what happens in the building.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, for the most part, I moved into a new building. It's not a Trump building right now, which is kind of unusual. Well, listen, I needed space. I couldn't, we have to build something new in New York, for me to do that. And so they were like, well, would you want to do the board since you know buildings, you know management, you do this for a living? I said, you couldn't pay me.
Yeah.
I want nothing to do with it if I don't have the other vested interest of, hey, my name's on the building.
Yeah.
It's a very different world. So I have zero interest whatsoever in doing it anymore. So I get where you're coming from.
Okay.
Is it weird coming home and seeing your name on a building? I mean, I guess if you're raised with it, you're kind of used to it, but that would strike me as odd to see my name on a building. I would like it.
Norton?
Yeah.
You mean that doesn't happen every day? I'm sorry. Yeah. I walk into a building that I work in, my name's on it. I walk into a building I live in, my name's on it. It's kind of
That's got to be pretty cool.
Why-
But you were raised with that whole thing, and do you think obviously it's had an effect financially and whatnot, but do you feel that you're relatable to the common man?
I think so. I mean, most people are usually amazed, when they meet me or something like that, because I don't go name drop. I don't say, hey, I'm Don Trump Jr. I'm Don. A couple of days later, they say, wait a second, you're his son? Mm-hmm. I'm saying, yeah, well, why didn't you tell me? Well, because you probably think I was an asshole if I told you that right off the bat. And, so I think I usually surprise people.
I got to ask you this.
Cool,
why do you work?
It's not an option. I mean, in my family, like, that was
really?
one thing my parents were always, they spoiled us. I'd be lying if I said, hey, we weren't spoiled in certain ways, but, we got great educations. We got traveled all over the world. We got to see some really cool stuff.
What's your motivation, though? Because a lot of people, when they don't have much, the motivation is to be successful and have the money. And you could kind of ride your dad's coattails if you wanted to, but you're saying
it was
that
just
wasn't an option.
It wasn't really an option. We were never spoiled financially, whereas, you got whatever you wanted. You're 15, you get a Ferrari. That wasn't the way it worked in our family.
Oh, okay.
So we always had to work.
Because I knew a lot of those guys growing up on Long Island, and they were the 15-year-old that drove to the high school in the new Ferrari and stuff because their parents were rich, and you knew these kids were never going to be motivated to do anything.
I have plenty of friends like that, and they're screwed up. You grew up with it. In New York City, that happens a lot. The parents say, hey, this is what I want to do because I want my kid to like me, so I'll get him whatever he wants. And I don't think it's a good way to raise a kid. And, try to do the same with my own kids. Just keep them hungry.
Yeah, you guys all seem down to earth. Donald Trump's kids all seem very,
thank you,
very level-headed and their own person.
Yeah.
They really do.
Have you ever looked at something that your dad's done over the years and just kind of like, oh, Dad, oh Jesus, what are you doing? Because he is in the public eye. He's very, he's got his personality, and sometimes it clashes with other people.
Well, listen, he clashes with other people, but it works for him. I mean, he knows how to make that work. So, it's interesting because there's definitely times I'm sure that's happened. At the same time, just growing up with it and, kind of having my real education outside of school by watching him and working with him, like, I get it. So I get where he's coming from. Some people are like, I just don't understand why he'd do that. I was like, you spend a little time with him, you get exactly. And he makes it work for him.
And have you learned, obviously you learned from your father, but have you learned things and learned how he's separated himself from other successful people to become such a success? And is it some magical thing, or does he just have is it inbred in him?
It's cerebral. It's just, he does it. It's, he can look at something that you could present to 1,000 other people and no one else would look at it the same way. Mm-hmm. You give them all the same scenario, and the way he's looking at it and analyzes it is just so different. And so, I don't think that's something that he just said, this is how I'm going to look at things. It's the way it is. I think that's ingrained in him.
Right.
That's what he does.
Do you feel you've picked up that trait?
I think certainly an element of it. I think we're probably very similar from a business standpoint. Again, just because that's what I know, that's what I've followed him around. I think we're probably very different, personally, and outside the office.
Did you ever want to do anything else other than, kind of the same business-oriented real estate thing that, do you ever have aspirations to be just a cop or something?
Or an actor or something?
No, not an actor. Yes and no, but I think, again, growing up in that family, when I spent time with my father, I wasn't playing catch in the backyard. I wasn't doing any of that shit. It was, I followed him on a job site. I was around heavy machinery, hop on a tractor, hop on a D10 bulldozer, push stuff around. So you start doing that, it becomes pretty cool.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
And so when it's what when it's kind of the way you were brought up, it was very natural. That said, when I graduated from Wharton, so I went where he went to business school and everything like that. I moved to Colorado. I was a bartender for about a year and a half. So,
okay.
Did he hate that year and a half?
Oh, it was a disaster. I think it was probably an interesting time. That was a little bit of a kind of like, hey, I'm going to do what I want, and it may not necessarily even be what I want to do, but I'm going to prove to you that I can do whatever the hell I want.
But that's probably cool too, though, because you got to kind of keep in touch with the way people really are and deal with, not be completely, because there are people that are raised in certain families that have a lot of money and success that are very sheltered.
Yeah.
But that's kind of a good way to get out into the public and see, wow, there's cool people, there's assholes.
Well, that was like my point earlier, which is like, we're not necessarily what you think. What you see or what you perceive on television isn't necessarily what we are. And we were also brought up that way. I mean, my grandfather was from Eastern Europe. He's an electrician. I spent 6 weeks every summer with him in former communist Czechoslovakia, spoke the language. I got to learn pretty quickly that the life I led in the U.S. isn't the norm.
You're missing something, though, Anthony.
Yeah.
So you're out there for a year and a half being a bartender. How did that end? Did it end with a phone call from Dad going, I'm going to cut you off if you don't move back to New York?
That phone call happened when I said, hey, I'm going to Colorado.
But how did the bartending thing end? Because it seems like...
I basically said, like, hey, I'm coming back in September. This was really right after 9/11. I was out there when 9/11 happened, and, I basically said, I'm coming back on September 17th. It just happened to be a week, after that. And it was like, okay. So, I mean, it was predetermined. It was like, I'm going to do this for a while. I got to get some stuff out of my system. And then, come back and do this.
Yeah.
We got Howie Mandel just walked in behind you.
Oh, Jesus.
How you doing?
How's it going?
I'm a fan.
Hey, Howie.
Can we do this?
See ya. How's it going?
Like, doesn't your dad do that?
Yeah, well, yeah.
He wanted to shake my hand.
He's not a shaking hand fan.
We all know.
Howie almost fell on his ass.
Yeah.
I can't get. Hey.
Hi, Howie.
How you doing?
Good to see you, man.
Don't touch the chair, Howie.
Huh?
Don't touch the chair
Why,
over
what
there.
was-
No, it's okay. It'll be all right.
Jesus.
Hey, guys, he was
Freak him out.
sneezing and coughing all over the place.
Don't say
I think he's dying.
Don't say that.
I'm
You'll
loving
freak
this.
him out,
I got to tell you how much I love this season. This season is the wackiest, best
Thank you.
group of people I've ever seen. And I hear this week coming up. This is when Meatloaf goes crazy.
I think Meatloaf almost has a heart attack.
He
Wow.
wants to
It was
kill
close.
Gary Busey, right?
Yes. Which is
I can't wait to
understandable.
watch Sunday. I hear it's like the best episode.
It's great.
Meatloaf and Gary Busey. Now, I could see that being a problem anyway. Like those
I think
two.
Gary Busey and anyone.
Yeah.
Speaking of people who are just way out there,
Yeah.
super nice guy. I really enjoyed spending the time with. But man, he'll get you in an earlock, and you have no idea what he's talking about. I'm like, I'm either stupid or he's just on a different level.
But he has no concept that you're on a different level.
No, you're
Right?
trying to get out of it, and he doesn't know
Right.
that you're not the most entertained person in
my
the room at
God.
the moment.
But he has an excuse because he had the head injury.
I think it has to be.
I met him before that. I was working with Dice, and Gary came to the show, and we took a picture, and he just kept tickling me. He's a weird dude.
He's tickling you?
He his arm around me. He's like,
With his front teeth.
digging his fingers into my side. He's a weird guy.
Okay,
He's an
so-
odd guy.
All right,
That was
then he
before
doesn't
the
have an
accident.
excuse.
Oh, yeah. He was just a weirdo.
But Meatloaf is a weirdo. We
Yeah,
had him.
Meatloaf is a little odd, too.
He was a great guy, actually. I mean, he's really got his stuff together. I mean, intelligent.
He was emotional.
I couldn't.
emotional.
Yes.
He cries like 6 times in
drop of a
different
hat, he'll
boardrooms and
start
stuff
crying,
like that.
yeah.
But he takes his charity really seriously, which is nice to see. Because I mean, ultimately they're playing for charity, and
Right.
sometimes you get the people like they pick a charity the day before just so they can be on TV. I mean, this is something that he's actually worked on for a very long time. So
What's
it's
the
nice to-
charity?
What was something with children? I forget what it was exactly. I mix them all up.
Meat for children.
Yes, treadmills and how to break them.
Now, I got to say, we only have Howie for like 5 minutes because he's got a very busy day. And
What are you doing?
You're
Regis?
late.
You're
I'm
going to
plugging-
Regis?
I'm going over to Regis.
Over
yeah.
to Regis.
Told myself.
I'm plugging my show tonight after Idol. It's called Mobbed, which is a flash mob. You know what flash mobs are?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I took flash mobs, right? And I said, what if you had a really important message you had to give like one person, like they were about to find out. These are intimate messages you want to share with somebody. They're about to find out that you're pregnant and you're the father, or you're going to propose to somebody, or tell your boss to take his job and shove it. What if we took these people like a hidden camera, unbeknownst to them, to a public place and had 1,000 strangers deliver this very private message to change their lives in a big musical.
Awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome, and you can see it even in a proposal. We took a couple who are like kind of on the rocks, and she's very jealous, and she keeps breaking up with him. And they say I pushed it too far. I kept sending in women, there was tears, not good tears. Said I pushed the buttons a little too much, but it's a great show, and so we took flash mobs to the next step. You got to see it, and you got to see how people react, and to have this kind of production and not without a net, and not know whether they're even going to show up or how they're going to react is huge.
Can you leave a hit show for somebody else, Howie? Another hit show for Howie Mandel.
This is just a special. There's just one.
It's going to be a hit, though. And
Yeah,
I hope
make a
so.
series out of it.
I'm a huge fan of America's Got Talent, I got to tell you. And
Thank you.
What
That's
a great
what I'm
move.
in town doing.
What a great move bringing you in to replace
Thanks.
Hasselhoff.
Yeah, I'm
Great
having
move.
a good
And
time.
do you hate Piers?
He hates me.
He hates you.
He hates me, and he's hated me from day one. You worked with him.
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
he
Had him on
won,
the
right?
apprentice.
And he
He
tells
did.
me every day how
No,
he
well,
won.
listen, he's got his ego, but he's also good at what he does in a certain way.
That's why he hates Howie, because Howie
Do
gets...
you hear what he said? He's good at what he does in a certain way.
way, yes.
I understand.
Obnoxious.
So he's been calling me annoying. I mean, that's his thing. He doesn't really get my humor. He doesn't get my sensibilities. If I want to put somebody through because they're a little whacked, which I think America would want to see, he doesn't get it. So he says I'm the most annoying man in America. So I've taken it upon myself this year to make myself the most annoying man to him. So he has to sleep. He's been traveling worldwide with his breaking news and CNN, which is still broadcast while we're doing the show. And when he goes to sleep, I'll stand outside his dressing room with a bullhorn, telling people to stay away for hours till he tells me to go.
The interaction between you two is just great. It really is.
Thank you, but
and
this
I
time there's a lot more anger.
I want to thank you. You put Chips Cooney through, and
I love Chips
I
Cooney.
do
we
too.
all know him, and Piers didn't understand that
He
he's
doesn't
being a
get that.
comic and not a magician.
I said that to him when he was in. I'm like, I don't like the way he treats Chips Cooney because he likes that cheeky British shit. He thinks that's smart if you're like, well, you're getting a haircut. I'm getting the all cut. This guy's a card.
But that's what I say. He didn't get that.
No, he didn't
and
get
he
it.
thought it was just a bad magician? And I said, that he is. That's funny.
the gimmick.
Yeah, and he survived as long as he was supposed to on that show.
Yeah, but we grew up. He could have survived long. I think in this last one he made a mistake.
He blew it.
He blew it. You know, my buddy,
show.
my road manager had a great idea for him. He said, do the exact same act. You know, and then when we as judges would say you did the exact same act again, he goes, no, this time I'm wearing a blue shirt.
Right.
You know, he would have
yes, there you go.
That would have been more up his alley, but he tried to be something he wasn't in that last one.
What did he do in the last one? I didn't see it.
I can't remember what it was, but I remember he wasn't that character anymore,
Right.
that kind of sad sack, inept magician, which I think is wonderful, and he should be a star. You know, I grew up watching, you know, Tiny Tim, you know, and Andy Kaufman, and I like quirky little off characters.
He plays weird acting roles too. Like, do you ever see Q&A with Nick Nolte?
No.
Oh, it's a movie. There's great. Chips is a drummer at a tranny bar. It's one of my favorite moments. It's like they pan through a tranny bar. Nick Nolte and tiptoe through the tour. Oh, for many years.
Will you say hi for me?
I will.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great.
Seen him?
I haven't. No.
He'd be great on The Apprentice.
Yeah, he's a very interesting dude.
What about Prince Poppycock? And then we'll get back to Mob, the new show.
No, it's okay. What about Prince Poppycock? I think that guy was brilliant.
He was.
I was amazed
that
America embraced him because it was so avant-garde and camp. And
you look at Midwest and it's like, well. What?
No, I'm sorry.
You're holding up.
No, nothing bad. No, we only have we only have like a minute left with Howie. So
These TVs are on. It's distracting.
It's distracting me?
No.
Don't worry about it.
They're watching TV and not listening to anything else anyone says.
Yeah, that's what happens. It's like the Situation Room in here with the TVs.
Oh, is she hot or what? Pia. Oh, you just missed her.
Now
I'm getting distracted.
That scared me.
No.
Don't you hate when you go?
Pia from Idols.
I hate when you go, oh, that's hot, and you look over and it changes to like a male anchor guy, and you're like, oh, no. You got to explain.
Yeah, well, he was hot.
He's hot too.
So it sounds like if this the special does well, they could do it again, though, right?
I would hope. That was, I did a special. I didn't believe that Fox would allow me to, put this kind of money in this kind of an extravagant production without knowing what's going to happen, without a net, is pretty amazing. So, if I don't get to do more, I got to do this. But I think that people will enjoy it. It's you'll laugh, you'll cry. Bring the entire family.
and it's After Idol. Oh, my God.
You look very trim and fit.
Yeah.
Always depresses me when I see comedians in good shape.
Yeah. I did a sit-up.
Yeah, you did one?
I did one, and I'm going to do another one tomorrow.
He's TV
My
fit.
wife cooks like shit. That's why I'm trim. She can't cook. Nothing. She's never cooked anything.
How are you doing with the the OCD and stuff? Is it
not
the
good.
same? It's bad?
Not good.
I'm not good. No,
Still tortured.
I am tortured, and I'm medicated. As I said here, I've got a lot on board right now.
Yeah,
I do.
And
I go to a lot of therapy, and I'm okay.
You just got to be a bitch, though, man. Oh God, and you must hear from people that don't understand that. Just say, why don't you just stop it? Why don't you get over it?
But people always say
Touch
that about
that.
anything. If people are afraid of flying, they go, just don't think about it.
Get in the plane.
Yeah.
Don't think about plummeting 35,000 feet to a short death.
We're getting the hook. They're getting nervous.
Yeah. He's very.
Your people are like, he's got to go right now.
My people.
Yeah.
Do you ever have someplace to go?
That was a good little pop in. You got to go to Regis. Get the hell over here.
Yeah, because he's gonna. If I don't get there quick, he'll retire.
He'll start yelling. Yes, he will.
And then
I'm
you can
leaving.
get that gig.
It's the. I was saying it's the. I don't give a crap anymore. I'm retiring, Regis. What do we have today? I don't care. Don't even tell me.
He's always
always
a great
angry.
impression.
Well, he's very nasal, and all you got to do is talk, and then end up yelling about something like a computer.
But I like when he yells about.
I love when you see him with a computer or something. He's like, it's 2011. I don't know how this works. Where do I put the foot pedal?
He's tweeting now. He's actually tweeting now, though.
Is he tweeting?
He is tweeting.
He's not tweeting.
Is it him or is it somebody else?
Is it really him?
Pardon me?
Is it him or is it someone tweeting for
He
us?
said it's him.
Someone's tweeting.
Yeah.
Someone's tweeting under Regis' name.
Does his Twitter say like Regis will be like in the third person?
Yeah, third person kind of a thing.
If they say third person, then you know it's him, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right, because that's how he talks.
Regis
is here.
Regis is here.
Yes.
It's not like 3 a.m. like just finished a bottle of bourbon.
Well, you probably spend a lot of time with him, right? He's best friends with you.
Yeah, I do. He's down in Mar-a-Lago a lot. It was interesting. Over the holidays, I was down there, and my daughter, our rooms were right next to each other. So my daughter was staying in that room, and we moved when Regis came down into another room, and my 3-year-old walks into his room, takes off all her clothes, and tries climbing into bed with Regis.
Jesus,
No. It was pretty funny. She's like, then she looks up and sees Regis. She's like, Like, okay, like I'm still good with this. It was
What
pretty
the hell is going on in this place?
She was trying to climb into bed with us, not knowing that we had moved. It was pretty funny.
No, someone call Chris Hansen.
Well, how did you find this out?
Wait, I walked in. I'm looking for her, and I'm like,
Uncle
and he's
Paul.
like, Don, I think your
Uncle
daughter's right here. She's just buck naked.
And you walk in the room and Regis is lying there with your naked daughter?
No, well, she's not in the bed, but she's just like stripping off her clothes. Like,
I gotta
no big
tweet
deal. Like,
this.
Well, I gotta go.
God.
So watch Mob tonight.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, we
Right after
certainly
Idol
will.
on
Right
Fox.
after Idol on Fox,
Thanks for
Howie
having me.
Mandel.
Good seeing you.
Very cool.
Congratulations on all
Thank you
the
very much.
success.
Howie,
best of
next
luck,
time you gotta
man.
spend some time with
I
us.
would
This
love
is
to.
way
Yeah.
too short.
Thanks for
We
having
love
me.
Howie Mandel.
Thank you.
See you, buddy.
All big fans. All right, Howie's running out.
Stern Bogart and Howie Mandel. Best
There
of
goes
luck,
Howie.
man.
All
Take
right,
it easy, guys.
We'll take a break and we can continue.
Yes, please.
All right, we'll
Sorry
continue
for
with
that interruption.
Donald Trump Jr. He likes to go by Don.
It's
though.
Don.
Trump.
Don.
Don Trump just sounds weird, right?
No,
More
because
with Don
he gets here
Trump.
and Donald.
All right, next.
Rob, bitch, Rob, bitch, Rob, bitch, 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 bitch,